What up? This is Rama Screen, and in the anticipation of Wildcat arriving in theaters April 23 and on demand and on digital April 27, I'm here talking with one of the stars of this new film and BAFTA winner, Georgina Campbell. Hi, Georgina. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I was a big fan of The Pale Horse, big fan of Krypton. So thank you for taking the time and congrats on this new film. Let me start with the obvious question. How did you get on board this project, Wildcat? What drew you to Jonathan's script?
Yeah, I got sent the script and I read it and I just thought it was really, really well written and it was really interesting and I was intrigued by, the idea that it all basically takes place in one room. It seemed like a really challenging, exciting project to get involved with. And I spoke with Jonathan and he was just very passionate and creative and yeah, I was really impressed. So I joined straight away.
I gotta be honest with you. Those torture scenes were tough to watch. I had to look away from some of them a few times. You getting electrocuted, your nails getting torn out one by one. I mean, your screams sounded so carnal. I mean, what was it like shooting those sequences, and were they as painful as they looked?
They were not painful. It was all acting. No, it was very intense. It was a
Mm.
very intense shoot, and it's funny because I watched the film with my mum the other day, and I'd almost forgotten how much those torture scenes are. There's just so many of them. My poor mum was like, I can't. I've had enough of this. Um, but I think they're all filmed it quite skillfully. It's not gratuitous. It's sort of realistic.
Mm.
But yeah, it was very intense. It was very tiring.
But coming into this project, did you know that it was gonna be this physically grueling?
Yeah, I did know from reading it. Actually, some of it got pared down a bit because the first draft that I read, it was actually more
Wow.
kind of hardcore than it ended up being. And over the process of editing it, Jonathan kind of like brought that down, and we found the characters underneath, and um, yeah, it was a lot.
Talk to me about your process of embodying Khadija Young. Prior to filming, did you have to shadow an actual active member of the military, or was that not part of the process due to budget and time constraints?
Yeah, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of reading. I
Mm.
read Amanda Lindhow, her book about she was abducted in the Middle East, and Judith Tibbett, and read about and watched documentaries about James Foley, and just tried to kind of understand the mindset of being abducted. Um, and there was a woman who Jonathan is friends with who is very similar to Khadija, and has worked over in the Middle East and has, been on army bases and all that sort of stuff. So she was great. I went and had a conversation with her, and she just kind of told me about her real life situation she's been in, and yeah, that was very helpful.
Obviously, Khadija is persistent. She doesn't break easily. But what do you think are some of her blind spots or weaknesses? Do you think at times that she's too confident or has too much faith in her plans along the way that she doesn't anticipate Abu Khalid also thinking two, three steps ahead of her?
Yeah, I think she's very intelligent, and I think sometimes her intelligence, especially at the beginning of the film, gets in the way of her like humanity and being able to understand people, especially with Luke's character. It takes her a while to kind of connect with him on a human level and also understand Abu Khalid on a human level. So I think her intelligence sometimes gets in her way.
This is a dialogue driven script. There's lots of conversations going on between Khadija and Abu and Khadija and Luke. Did you mostly stick to the script or were there rooms for ad libs?
No, we stuck to the script. It was a very well written script. It was, and there were definite beats to hit, and Jonathan constructed the scenes in such an amazing way where you're kind of getting information, and there's constant shifts in who's in control of that scene or that conversation, and then suddenly someone else is in control. So it was all very well crafted by Jonathan.
and it pays off. I mean, it comes off really great on the screen. And what does this movie want to say or want to convey about our U.S. troops out there?
You know what? I don't know. I don't. I think that the setting of the story is it has less to say about that. I think it's much more about trauma and victimhood and how to use your trauma to your benefit and not be a victim. I think that's really what the story's about.
And finally, unfortunately, Krypton didn't last, even though I was a huge fan of it. But would you be open to someday returning to the superhero world? If so, which DC or Marvel character that you would like to play someday? What would be your DC or Marvel dream role?
Oh, I don't know. You know what? I would love to go back and do a superhero film. I'm not I'm not that I don't read comic books that much, so I don't know that many characters. But I'm excited to see the new Batman, and Zoe Kravitz is in it, isn't she? She's playing
Yes.
Catwoman. I could go for Catwoman.
I could see you as Catwoman, most definitely. Well, Georgina, and for my fans at home, everybody go check out Georgina in the movie Wildcat, arriving in theaters April 23 and on demand and on digital April 27. Georgina, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. It's lovely to meet you.